How do you talk to an insurance adjuster after a car accident? Well, after an accident, one of the first calls you may get is from an insurance adjuster. And the insurance adjuster is going to have a whole lot of questions for you. And what you tell them and what you don't tell them, it matters. So, first, let's talk about what the claims adjuster actually does. The claims adjuster is generally an employee of an insurance company who just goes to work every day but has a job a little bit different than yours and mine. So their job is to evaluate the facts of the case. How did the accident happen? Where did it happen? What was the damage to the vehicles? Who caused it to happen? And then they also have an evaluation they have to do of injuries. And this could be different adjusters. Sometimes it's the same adjuster, but they want to know, okay, what are the claimed injuries? What medical documentation is there to prove those injuries? Is the person still treating? Are they done? And based on this information, they're probably going to decide, okay, hey, you know what? I need to go collect a whole bunch of medical records because I need to validate these injuries. And they may even say, hey, I want to go and get a recorded statement. And the reason the adjusters need a statement under oath or documentation is because they have sort of an odd job. And a lot of people that are in a situation where they have a personal injury claim tend to perhaps not be truthful. They tend to exaggerate. So these claims adjusters are trained to not listen so much to just pure words, but to want documentation to back it up. So what this means is if an insurance adjuster calls you and you say the other person's 100% at fault, I'm super injured, give me a check for $1 million, they're going to pretty much dismiss that and say, all right, we're starting from the beginning here. We're going to need photos of the accident. We're going to need pictures of the injuries. We're going to need the medical records and on and on and on. They're going to do their investigation. So, what do you tell this insurance adjuster? Well, when you're talking to them on the phone, they're not your friend, they're not your enemy. Just give them the facts. Be pleasant, don't be combative. You're going to want to give them information like the facts of the accident. Where and when did it happen? That's okay. When they ask you about your injuries, it's okay. Tell them, I'm still evaluating my injuries. That you'll follow up with documentation later. So, what should you avoid? Well, don't guess about speed, and don't guess about fault, and don't tell them you're fine. Because if you tell them you're fine right after the accident, and then you present an injury claim later on, they're going to be thinking, well, is this person lying now or were they lying then? It's just not a good look. Now, the insurance adjuster may ask you to give a recorded statement. If it happens to be an insurance adjuster for your own insurance company, you might be obligated by the insurance contract to give them a recorded statement. However, if it's the insurance company for the other person, you're probably not obligated in any way, so politely decline. You can let them know that you'll put it in writing what you know about the case and submit that to them instead. Now, another tip is to be careful with social media. There's a good chance that the claims adjuster or somebody else working for the insurance company might be watching your social media posts. So if you're posting about the accident, about your injuries or vacations and fun you're having, they're going to try to use this information to either show that you were at fault for causing the accident or that your injuries are not what you say they are. So the safest thing to do is just stay off social media until your case is resolved. Now, in a personal injury case, documentation is everything. As I kind of alluded to earlier, the claims adjusters are not used to people being truthful all the time. So, to the extent you can, get them a police report showing the other person's at fault. Get them all of your medical records showing that your injuries are caused from the crash and are necessary because of the crash. And if you have recommendations for future treatment due to the crash, send that documentation to them as well, because it's that documentation that's actually going to help them evaluate the case and get you a better settlement number at the end of the day. So if you happen to be dealing with a claims adjuster after an accident and you've got questions and happen to live in the state of Nevada where I practice law, feel free to book a call with me. It's a free call, no obligation, no pressure, just answers.